but our observing chair, David Hoskin, and he's going to provide the what's up in the March skies. Hopefully something exciting when the clouds go away, David.
Hopefully. Okay, it's great. Okay, so what's up? Well, hopefully we have a better month in terms of cloudless skies coming up for March. This is just to remind you that the last few days around the new moon were a good time to look for the zodiacal light just after sunset. Your next chance is going to be the very end of the month and into the first weekend of April, when you'll be able to see this diffuse pyramid of light about 30-45 minutes after sunset, caused by the sun reflecting off dust in the plane of the ecliptic. So the sun this month, darkness is going to decrease substantially. As of March 1st, we had just over 9.5 hours of darkness, and by the end of the month, we'll have just under 8 hours of darkness. Sunrise and sunset changing moderately. Sunset being the more the biggest change. So going from 6 p.m. March 1st to 7:41 p.m. the end of the month. Don't forget, we go to daylight savings time, March 13th. So those of you that image and use the Celestron or the Skywatcher apps for guiding, remember to change your setting in those apps to daylight savings time. Otherwise, you'll be an hour off. And the equinox, the spring equinox or vernal equinox, is on March 20th. Some interesting stuff on the sun today. There's 3 separate sunspot groups visible, shown here in this white light image that I took from spaceweather.com this morning. This particular group bears some watching. It's fairly active. It's produced a few small flares, and it's continuing to grow. So by later in the week, as it rotates more into view, we may see some more interesting stuff. Here's the hydrogen alpha version, and you can see the sunspots and a number of nice filaments and several prominences visible, and of course plage around the sunspots. So lots to look at around the sun the next, well, today and tomorrow. I think we have sunny skies tomorrow for at least a little while. This is pretty cool. This was posted on spaceweather.com. It's a time lapse that was taken by an amateur astronomer, Alexander Golichtek, from Germany. And this is a plasma vortex, and the center of the vortex is large enough to swallow the Earth. So it's pretty big, pretty impressive. I was looking for it myself this morning, and I think it's degraded at this point. This is from yesterday. The prominence is still there, but the vortex that was formed is not there anymore. So the moon this month, new moon, was March 2nd. I saw a few pictures posted of members that took a picture of the very new moon. The moon this month is the maple sugar moon, or the springtime moon. Sukuikus is the Mi'kmaq name. On March 6th, it's a good chance if you want to find Uranus around 9 p.m. It'll be 4 degrees or so north of the moon, shown here in this illustration. So if you can, in a binocular view, if you can get the crescent moon near the bottom, you should see Uranus about 4 degrees away near the top of the field of view. First quarter moon's March 10th. Full moon will be March 18th. Last quarter moon, March 25th. And a nice photo op on March 28th. 3 planets, Venus, Mars, and Saturn, will all be near the waning crescent moon. You'll have to get up early. This is the view around 6:15, and you need quite a good eastern, nice flat eastern horizon, southeastern horizon to see all those planets. But it should be quite the sight if we have clear skies. Explore the universe, things that you need to check off to see on the moon, different Mare and craters. Around the time of first quarter is the best time to see things around the terminator and the center of the moon. And then later on in the month, look for structures that are more towards the west. Planets in March. Mercury's a tough one. It's very low in the dawn sky at the start of the month, and by the middle of March, it'll be pretty much lost in morning twilight. So if you're going to see Mercury in the morning, get out tomorrow if it's clear. You need a good east-southeast horizon, because it'll be less than 4 degrees above the horizon 20 minutes before sunrise. You'll probably need binoculars to see it, because it'll look pretty dim in the pre-dawn twilight. On March 2nd, which is past, there was a close conjunction of Mercury with Saturn, shown here. I don't know if anyone got to see that. I think it was cloudy, but I'm not sure. Don't remember. Venus is brilliant in the dawn sky. On March 12th, there's a conjunction with Mars, and on March 29th, a close conjunction with Saturn. So all good photo opportunities. Mars is fairly bright, nowhere near as bright as Venus, but it's a dawn sky object. And as I said a minute ago, it'll be near Venus and Saturn between March 24th to the 31st. Jupiter, it's not a good month for Jupiter. It'll appear in the morning twilight at the end of the month. So in come April, early risers will get a chance to see Jupiter. Saturn is visible in the dawn sky. It's will be well separated from the sun by the middle of the month. Uranus is an evening sky object under dark skies, visible by the unaided eye. But if you're in the city, you're probably going to need binoculars. And Neptune is not in the cards. It has a conjunction with the sun on March 13th, so it'll won't be visible for some time yet. Spring constellations. Again, these are things to tick off if you're doing Explore the Universe. Ursa Minor, Ursa Major, Bootes, Leo, Virgo, and Libra are the 6 spring constellations to keep an eye out for. Spring stars. There's a number of them. Arcturus is quite prominent in the night sky now, around 11 at night or so. It's a fairly brilliant orange yellow star. Others, Kochab in Ursa Minor, Dubhe and Merrick in Ursa Major. Nebula and Regulus in Leo are also pretty prominent. So if you're up to see Arcturus, you'll also be able to see Nebula and Regulus. And if you stay up a bit later, you'll be able to see Spica and Zubin Janubi and Zubin Shamali. I think Dave Chapman does a better job at pronouncing those than I do. I've added this to the presentation because part of Explore the Universe is to identify a couple, several, actually 20, double and multiple star systems. And these are groupings of stars that are too small to be called clusters. They can be optical doubles and multiples, which just are the result of a chance alignment, or they can in fact be stars that are gravitationally bound to each other in that they orbit each other. And our sun is actually a bit of an oddity because most stars in the Milky Way galaxy do have a companion. In the Explore the Universe observing program, there's 19 double stars and 1 triple star. And you can see all of these under dark skies with binoculars. So you don't need a fancy telescope. New 1 and New 2 that are just to the left of the kite asterism in Bootes are quite a nice is quite a nice double star. One star is blue and the other is orange red, and they're quite striking in binoculars or with a wide field telescope. So challenge for this month would be to try to find this particular double star system. Just a bit of a word on a few words on constellation Bootes, or the herdsman, or the plowman, or ox driver, different names and through some different cultures. It's home to a double contrasting double star system, Isar and Arcturus. Arcturus is the brightest sky in the northern celestial hemisphere and the third individual brightest star in the sky, after Sirius and Canopus. Now, the interesting fact about Bootes, this constellation has 5 stars with known planets, but it doesn't contain any Messier objects. Deep sky objects to look for in the Explore the Universe program are Messier 5, which is a globular cluster, Messier 44, which is an open cluster, and Nalat 111, which is another open cluster. If you're looking for the beehive cluster, identify Gemini and then look halfway between Castor and Pollux and Regulus. So Castor and Pollux are off here. There's Regulus and there's Messier 44, the beehive cluster. It's a really striking object in binoculars or in a wide field telescope at low magnification. The name comes from the fact that the brighter stars, the shape of them resemble an old-fashioned conical beehive. And I took this picture a few days ago. Well, I guess at this point, a few weeks ago. Last time we had a good clear night. Last night I got a shot of Messier 5, but I haven't processed the data yet. Last thing to bring people's attention to is that March is the month for those that want to do a Messier marathon. So the nights of March 29th to 31st will be the best, since the rest of the month is the night sky is dominated by a very bright moon. But if you can get to a nice dark location with good horizons, you'll be able to see most of these Messier objects with 10 by 50 binoculars. And the marathon part of it is that you want to try to see all 110 Messier objects in a single night, which I think is quite the challenge. You need to follow a very specific sequence of targets. Many will start off with Messier 77, which is a galaxy, and it'll be visible very low in the west just after sunset. So you have to grab that one before it sinks out of view. And then the last object usually viewed in the marathon is Messier 30, which is a globular star cluster. And again, it just it's when it comes into view, it's in the morning twilight. So you only have a short period of time to grab that one before it gets lost in the light from the rising sun. I put a link here for there's several different search sequences for the Messier Marathon if anyone's trying it. You can also do it in 2 parts, so you can do part one night and part another night. And there are mini Messier marathons which aren't quite as demanding. I think they typically have 56 targets. And I think that's it. Any questions?
No, but there is a comment from Terry Trees, who says one of the co-inventors / discoverers of the Messier Marathon is my friend Tom, I'm assuming it's pronounced Ryland, a member of our local Pittsburgh Astronomy Club.
Oh, cool. Someone who doesn't like sleep, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. There are several resources out there as well that deal with the Messier Marathon that people can acquire, and certainly they can go online. But
yeah, the added challenge
all night.
the added challenge for us is not only is it all night, but it's likely to be a very cold night too.
Potentially, yes. Yes. Although as long as it hovers, just slightly below 0, it's not too bad. It's when it gets down into the teens that we have.
Yeah. Okay, I'll stop sharing that.
Okay, thanks so much, David.